lovely that, there's organizations like you guys out there doing what we need to be doing for our women to help kind of raise the standard and really help empower women to be successful. That's really the kind of the impetus of the Women's Fund for Southwest Iowa, and making sure that women, that they're empowered to be successful, and really focusing on the key areas where we feel, after doing a lot of work to figure out what those areas were or are in Southwest Iowa and what they continue to be, is access to affordable, quality childcare, education for women of all ages, all the way from early childhood, in pre through high school, all the way through education for financial acumen to help raise women out of poverty, and then safety for women of all ages, particularly around sexual assault, domestic violence, human trafficking, and then finally aging in place. There's not a lot of folks that are doing very specific fundraising or doing specific work around aging in place, and we want to create those resources to be able to do that. So it's fun to be able to grant out now through the Women's Fund of Southwest Iowa and Heartland Family Service. You guys are the first ones. We have 5 organizations in our first granting opportunity, and so we're excited to partner with you guys to help you measure impact, and really amplify the work that you're doing. The program, though, that we granted to is not new in Southwest Iowa. It's the Iowa Family Works. Do you want to talk a little bit about Iowa Family Works, John?
Iowa Family Works is a residential substance use treatment program for women and their children. So until we started that program about 10 years ago now, or more actually, if you were a woman who was pregnant or parenting, if you were pregnant, there was nowhere you could go to get treatment. And if you had children, you had to be separated from your children in order to access treatment. And so with this particular program, we removed those barriers because pregnant women are a priority population, and then women with children bring their children with them. If their children have already been removed from their custody because they're involved in the child welfare system, we, the judge or whoever's involved in that case, must agree to the family being reunited within 30 days of placement, because the whole program is designed to have the families together so that we can provide services to the whole family in an integrated way. And if the moms have a partner or a spouse or whatever, even though that person doesn't live in the facility, because the treatment is all very gender specific for women, we use a lot of different evidence-based practices and interventions that were designed for women, researched with women. But we do have services that are available to those partners and the rest of the family, with family counseling and couples counseling, and those sorts of things are also provided. But only the moms that are living there with their kids and receiving a whole bevy of services that are designed to help them address their mental health issues, their underlying trauma, their substance use disorder, and also attachment, parenting, relationship issues, everything. It's a very, very comprehensive program that's really been able to achieve amazing results.
It is truly an amazing program, and the fact that Heartland Family Service understands the importance of those wraparound services, the services or being able to kind of expand your sphere of care to the other folks that have influence in the family, so that you can really make sure that you're kind of hitting on what needs to be hit on when we're providing those services. So when the COVID-19 pandemic really started to build steam, unfortunately, in our community, we felt it was a good time to open up the granting cycle, because we were hearing that access to affordable, quality childcare was emerging as a true, even a more predominant sticking point for our nonprofit partners, for families, for folks that are either marginalized, or for those groups that were really suffering even more so because of the pandemic. And of course, the program that you are talking about, Iowa Family Works, was certainly not immune from that, right? And so right. And so talk about the need that came forward because of COVID-19.
Well, so while the children are living there with the moms are in programming a good 40 hours or more a week. It kind of depends. And so they have a fairly structured schedule every day. And of course, there is time in there where they just have time to do stuff with their children. But they're attending psychoeducational classes. They are having individual counseling, group counseling, and then they're having when the families come, they're having that family counseling or what have you. They're also participating in 12-step programs, and so there's a certain amount of time where the children can't be with the moms because the moms are really focused. I mean, this is basically their job, and so the children, except for the infants that are still breastfeeding or nursing, the moms will keep them. But the other children, we would have go to childcare or school, depending on their age. And so when the pandemic hit and we could no longer take the children to childcare, that made it really, really difficult to be able to provide services for the moms because all the kids were there. At the same time, we're very blessed to be a multi-service organization. So we've been able to cope up until now because we have a school for children living with a mental health condition in Council Bluffs called the Heartland Therapeutic School. And when the pandemic hit, we were no longer able to have classes in the building, but our teachers and our counselors were able to provide services through telehealth, through home visits or whatever. But that meant that a good number of our staff who work there are classroom associates who assist the other staff, the teachers and the counselors in the classroom. There was nothing for them to do really in that new way of service delivery. So we had about 14 employees that we needed to find something else for them to do. And so we were able to, some of those staff, we redeployed them to Iowa Family Works to provide childcare for the moms and the program on site, which was an absolute blessing.
Well, and it's an amazing adaptation of services, right? Yeah. And one of the things that we thought was really compelling about that program is that now you're going to be able to, you kind of built that infrastructure to be able to have daycare on site for your moms. And that's, I know something that your Nebraska side of that program, Nebraska Family Works, they do have really easily accessible childcare on the Nebraska side, but it was not the case on the Iowa side. So, so we're very excited to be able to support that expansion of your services and that enhancement of this kind of program. And hopefully it just will build on your capacity to be able to serve the moms that are going through that treatment in a more purposeful and more meaningful way.
Yeah, I think it absolutely will. That's one of the things we learned in the Nebraska Family Works program. When that first started, in the location where it started, there wasn't room for childcare there at all. When we built a new facility so we could expand, we were sure to add childcare just because we knew it would be so much more convenient, and we would be able to reclaim a couple hours every day that were spent with the moms and the kids going to their daycare providers, drop them off, come back, and then go back and get them again at the end of the day. And so that was a real blessing. And so now thanks to COVID, I suppose one could say,
silver lining,
figured out a way to do something similar for our Iowa Family Works program. So
yes, a silver lining. And so one of the other things too, John, I just want to touch base on this really quickly is that, and it's new to what we're, because of the grants that we're providing through the Women's Fund, we are also providing an additional tool to the grantees, to our nonprofit partners, on helping figure out what the impact that you are trying to create in the community, or the kind of based on your, I know Heartland has a wonderful theory of change based on your entire category of work, but we provided a tool to all of our grantees that kind of help them walk through the steps of what is it that you're really trying to create impact around with this program. And so we're excited for you guys to kind of be the guinea pigs in that experiment around impact. But we already know that, because these are evidence-based practices that you're using around the treatment piece, but having the access to that affordable quality childcare in your organization, being able to demonstrate the additional impact that has on the lives of those moms and in the community, it's an exciting proposition.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be great, Donna. I had seen that we were going to get access to the tool, so I'm excited to see that as well.
It's definitely something that, you know, organizations need that piece to be able, and certainly not every organization is as aware or as sophisticated as Heartland is around measurement. And so we wanted to be, and that's where we really felt that we could assist other nonprofits to be able to tell their story more effectively, not only back to us, but to other funders. And so giving them the tool to be able to gather and ask themselves the questions, how are we going to try and make an impact in our community and in the lives of our families through this program, and answer those questions. So that's what that tool does.
Awesome.
I know, it's exciting. So thanks for being the guinea pig.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you for your support. This is great.
Well, we're very excited to do it.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on your work, John. And we certainly, are excited and honored to be able to support the work that you're doing, that Heartland's doing in our community, and all the work that the other organizations that we're granting to through the Women's Fund. It's groundbreaking, I think, in a way to have a specific resource like this over in Southwest Iowa that's specific to issues that are facing women. So thanks for being part of it.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you for creating the opportunity.
You're welcome. You're welcome.